The Stymphalian birds were a group of monstrous birds in Greek mythology. They devoured humans and had beaks made of bronze. Their feathers were sharp and metallic and could be thrown against their prey, while their dung was poisonous. They were created by the god of war, Ares, and were hunted down by wolves. To escape, the birds reached the lake Stymphalia in the Greek region of Arcadia, where they reproduced quickly and destroyed farmlands and the countryside. The Stymphalian birds were a crew of tough customers belonging to Ares, the Greek god of war. These birds were apparently extremely vicious and unpleasant, and they were ultimately eradicated from Greece by the hero Hercules as part of his 12 labors, a series of challenging tasks which he undertook as an act of atonement. Fortunately for the Greeks, Hercules managed to successfully permanently rout the birds, and they have not returned since. The origin of the Stymphalian birds is not totally clear, for it was suggested that they were sacred birds raised by Ares or were pets of Artemis. Pausanias suggested that the Stymphalian birds were part of a larger population of the same sort of birds found in the Arabian Peninsula who made their home in Arcadia. This home was said to be in the dense woodland and shrubland surrounding Lake Stymphalis, safe from any predators or hunters. The Stymphalian birds were of course no ordinary birds, and Pausanias tells of them being the size of cranes. It was not their size that made them important in Greek mythology, but their lethal characteristics. The Stymphalian birds were described as man-eating, with beaks of bronze that could penetrate all armor of iron or bronze. Also, these birds had wings made of brass, and out of these wings, feathers could be fired, just as if they were arrows. These birds would thus go out into the lands surrounding Lake Stymphalis, devouring all the fruit and all the crops they could find. Hercules would beset his 6th labor by King Eurystheus, a commandment to rid Arcadia of these Stymphalian birds. This was, of course, no simple task, for it was not a single monster which Hercules could vanquish, but hundreds, if not thousands, of individual birds. Hercules would be aided in his quest by the goddess Athena, who presented him with a bronze crotalum, a noise-making instrument as crafted by Hephaestus. Hercules would play the crotalum, and the resulting noise caused the Stymphalian birds to leave the dense vegetation around the lake. No small number of the Stymphalian birds were subsequently killed by arrows shot from Hercules' bow, but even the vast numbers were killed but a fraction of the total number of birds. By continuing to play the crotalum, the Stymphalian birds were driven off from their roosts and nests, and the continuation of the noise meant that they would not return. As a flock, the Stymphalian birds flew from Arcadia to seek out a new home, and this proved to be the island of Aretias. But in driving them out of Arcadia, Hercules had completed his labor. The encounter of Hercules and the Stymphalian birds proved not to be the only appearance of the monstrous birds in Greek mythology. For shortly afterward, these birds would also be encountered by the Argonauts. Phineus had warned the Argonauts of the dangers posed by the birds of Aretias, and so, as the Argo approached the shore of the island, half of the Argonauts took up their shields and spears, whilst the others rowed. Before landing, the Argonauts let out a loud roar and started to bang their spears upon their shields. Thousands of Stymphalian birds then rose skywards, and whilst feathers from the birds were launched at the Argonauts, the hero's shield kept them safe, and by keeping the banging on their shields going, the birds were driven away from the island towards the mainland.